Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. All right, everybody settle in. We're going to do a Cherokee morning song, all right? Yeah. Big surprise. It's on. Take a deep breath, breathe all that in. Beautiful energy. Bring the sunshine in off the water. Bring in the ancestors and spirit guides. Have them join us today. Feel that energy in.
Thank you. Oh, thank you all so much for being here. You know, I have a little funny to tell you all. So last week and this week, it's what I like to call Florida boots and sweater weather. So I've got a sweater and I've got my boots on. And people don't like to get out, you know. We Floridians, we don't get out when it's like cold like this. If it's below 50, it's questionable whether you're going to go somewhere or stay in the warm. And so I had a meeting this week with some other New Thought leaders and some Unity ministers. And so we were all talking about the cold weather because it wasn't just us. It's all over the country, this cold weather. And they were from all over the country, and they're all talking about how the cold has influenced the attendance. And I said, yeah, they said, but I bet you're fine sitting pretty down there in Florida. I said, well, let me tell you, the cold does influence the attendance. And so they said, well, how was your service? I said, oh, we had about 75 people. And they all went, we had 10, 15. I won the attendance record. So thank you all. Thank you all for getting out in this cold boots and sweater weather here in Florida and coming to be in this energy. Because people can watch online, and we thank you so much for watching us online from all over the world. We have people that regularly join us from the West Coast. They get up a little early. We have people that join us from down in Brazil and Costa Rica and from all over the world, and we certainly appreciate it. And we know you feel the energy. You feel it, especially when we have the songs and the roving camera. Bex was here earlier and helped us get everything set up, and then now she's off to the airport to pick up Donna and Sue because they just flew in, or just flying in, probably just landing in about 30 minutes to be back from their winter Arctic excursion in Kentucky. So, but when she does that roving camera and you can see the energy, I know you feel it online. I know you do. But it's exceptionally wonderful to be here in person and feel it, isn't it? Ah, yes, it is. It's so, now, see, y'all should, that was your cue so they know that you're here. And so thank you so much for being here. And if you are here for the first time or you've only been here a couple of times, that song is a Cherokee morning song. My maternal grandparents are Cherokee, so we do that song out of love and appreciation for my heritage. And the words translated to English simply mean, I am of the Great Spirit. And it's a beautiful, wonderful way to start out every morning. I am of the Great Spirit. What a great and wonderful affirmation and invocation. Every day I sing it in the shower. So sing it in the shower, and so many of you message me and say, Reverend Kimberley, it's now part of my everyday spiritual practice. And I love hearing that. I love knowing that you take what we do here on Sunday and adapt it to your everyday life, because that's in our mission statement, that we bring you to a path for spiritual living that is practical, that you apply in your everyday life. So I love and appreciate those messages, so just keep them coming. So thank you so much for being here today. And it's going to be fabulous. Sal's with us. So he's been traveling around. He had his boys to see. Sal has boys and I have boys. We're both boy parents. Yes. And so he's been over there with Tony in Nashville. Tony's a wonderful musical artist who's making his way on the scene in Nashville. And there's a magazine called The Nashville Scene. So you get in the Nashville scene, you're getting it done. I tell you what, because everybody in the world comes there to be found and seen. So we're so proud of Tony and so proud of Sal, and we're happy to have him back with us. So, and I know you're going to enjoy it. He and I have worked out a song that he's written. He's doing some original songs from one of his album called Peace Today, and it's going to go right in with the message. I'm talking about uncluttering our mind. Woo! Uncluttering our mind. So what a beautiful, wonderful day we're going to have. So we here at New Thought Community of Gulfport are a non-denominational New Thought community that is brought together in love. We teach the teachings that are timeless teachings of science of mind, of the unity movement, and of New Thought visionaries all around the world. So we teach from sacred texts and we teach from new texts. So we take all that timeless wisdom, maybe wrap it up in a new thought or maybe a new way to think about it, and allow you to bring it into your life every day in the practical. So in honoring the tradition of the unity movement, we also love to say the great invocation that was written by Charles Fillmore. So if you'll stand with us, it's in your program if you picked up a program at the front, because Bex put them all out before she left. Thank you, Bex. We are now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit. In thy divine wisdom, now erase our mortal limitations, and from thy pure substance of love, bring into manifestation our world according to thy perfect law. And the spiritual laws are all natural laws that are right and perfect. Just like the law of gravity, so is the law of manifestation. And we bring about what we think about in this world. And I'm so grateful and thankful for you thinking about us and bringing it about. So it's time for you, Sal. Yes, thank you. Love is my decision, and that's a wonderful decision. Oh. See, Bex isn't here, so I was just moving right along. So if you are here for the first time, please remain standing. And our greeters will come by with a gift for you, a mala bracelet that is lovingly made by Kathy's team. They make these mala bracelets out of black volcano beads and then beads that represent your chakra system. What we love for you to do is to infuse that bracelet with the energy you experience here today. And then as you're going about your day, your week, your year, you come across a challenge, you look down, you see it, you touch it, you feel it, and you can experience the energy of today in that present moment. And we know that you are going to enjoy the energy of today, whether it's just the smile of the person sitting next to you, the beautiful music Sal's going to do for us, or maybe you'll be inspired by a spoken word or a prayer. And we are grateful you are here. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Reverend Kim. I want to call out a thanks to Reverend Maria for this next song. She said, you have to listen to some Daniel Nahmod, and this is one of my favorite songs from Daniel Nahmod, so I hope you enjoy it. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. Once I decide to change my mind, Spirit will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, Spirit will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, Spirit will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. You guys sing along now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. decision right here and now. Yeah. Thank you all.
It's working. I just had it got knocked off. It gets knocked off and I go hugging. Come on up. See, didn't I tell you? You're going to love it. Here you go. So, since the beginning of October, we have offered a prayer for peace. Not that we're protesting anything, but that we are praying for peace here among ourselves, in our community, peace in our country, and peace throughout the world. For all people, in all ways, in all time, peace. And we do this prayer in the vein of Mother Teresa, who said, they asked her to participate in a war protest, and she said, I will not participate in a war protest. But if you hold a parade for peace, I will lead it for you. Yes. So we are praying that all people can come to that place of peace. For it is when we open up and receive, we open up and allow that source energy that is within us to radiate from us out into the world. That is when we affect peace in this world. For we can't project peace until we have peace within ourselves. So allow your life to become more peaceful in every way, in your love relationship, in your business relationships, in your relationships with your animals, in your relationships with your children, in all the relationships you have with those people that you just see walking down the street. Allow peace and love to emanate from you, to radiate from you. And that's when we, as one being, part of the collective, can change the world. And so it is.
And so if you'll join with us in this prayer for peace, coming from the place of peace in your heart space, breathing that in and knowing that there is only one power and presence, one infinite spirit, one God, one universe, one source, only one. That one energy, the higher frequency, the love that we know, breathe that in. And together we know that the very essence of spirit, the essence of God, the essence of the all-knowing is within our being, in that heart space, knowing that coming from that place of peace, I shall come from peace and radiate my peace throughout the universe. Breathing that in, speaking peace, feeling peace, knowing peace. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. And the very essence of infinite spirit is who I am. And in this prayer, we allow ourselves to come from the place of peace, to breathe that peace, to recognize there is only peace in the world, for it begins one person at a time. So as I radiate my light from within and I see it shining beyond, I know there is peace here now. And in breathing that in, peace here now,
we know that there is one mind. We know that what we're holding here is being heard throughout the world. That somebody somewhere in this world is saying, ooh, I have this thought that let me spread peace. Let me spread joy. Let me hug somebody today that I didn't normally hug. We are powerful. We don't have to do anything. We just know it. We know it to be true. We're most grateful for it. We're most grateful for the peace in the world that we're seeing, that we're knowing, that we're loving. And with that peace, love, and joy, and being most grateful for it, we let it go, knowing that there's a power greater than we are that's going to bring it forth into our world as we're seeing it and knowing it. And so it is. Amen.
So
Amen.
it is.
So it is.
So it is. So I have to share just a little personal thing. Because when growing up, my grandmother, my papa was a minister. No, they don't call them ministers. They call them preachers. He was a preacher in a Pentecostal church. And my grandmother, so going to church with my grandmother, our family went to a Baptist church, but I would go back and forth between the two, well known at both. But my grandmother, so when people say do prayer hands, and it's this, and the little emoji is this for prayer hands, for me it's this. Because my grandmother, when she prayed, she clasped her hands like the more fervently she would clasp that hand, the more infinite, the more that prayer would be heard. So when I do that, I'm emulating what I grew up knowing, that this is a prayer hand more than this. But they're both beautiful prayer hands. And I just had to share that because somebody mentioned, I see you do that. What does that mean? It's my grandmother's prayer hands when I do that. So thank you all so much. I love you.
Thank you, thank you. That's it. Not yet, not yet. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up.
Back it up.
Not yet. You've got to wait for me to give you the thumbs up. So thank you very much for that. That's actually synchronicity because I don't know why I do this, but I do. I got to put the mic down to do this. But this is how I do when someone calls me out. I go. That's kind of an old kind of a cheer, but it's very in line with what you're saying. So thank you. This is a song that I wrote a couple of years ago, and it's all about recognizing the divine within yourself. And you can't be more spiritual than recognizing that to the fullest. And it's inside each and every one of us, that attachment to the divine. And it begins with gratitude. And it's gratitude in recognizing that I am the divine, that you are the divine. That's where the gratitude begins, is recognizing that you are the divine. It's a matter of just uncovering it and letting it out. So we can start. With gratitude, we raise our hearts way up high. With fortitude, we see the things we can choose. With faith, we see we have nothing to lose. With compassion, we see that we all are one. All I want. Oh, lift up your voices. Oh, lift up your hearts. Oh, lift up your eyes. See the light. See the light shines within. Shines within. Strength. We all stand in our truth and feel that spark, the spark of the divinity. Oh, lift up your your voices. Oh, lift up your hearts. Oh, lift up your eyes. See the light. See the light that shines within. Shines within. You guys can sing along. Oh, lift up your voices. Oh, lift up your hearts. Oh, lift up your eyes. See the light. See the light. See the light that shines within. Shines within with love. We embrace those who care, and with joy we celebrate the times we share, times we share. Oh, lift up your voices, lift up your voices, lift up your heart, lift up your heart, lift up your eyes, lift up your eyes. See the light, see the light, see the light that shines within, shines within. Oh, lift up your voices, lift up your voices, lift up your heart, lift up your heart, lift up your eyes, lift up your eyes. See the light, see the light, see the light, shines within, shines within. Oh, lift up your voices. Oh, lift up your hearts. Oh, lift up your eyes. See the light. Thank you all so much. That's a blessing for me to be able to share that. Thank you.
Isn't that beautiful? Wonderful. Ah, in gratitude and fortitude. Yeah. Living with an uncluttered mind. So I found this quote. Keep your head clear. It doesn't matter how bright the path is if your head is always cloudy. And it was not attributed to anyone. It said unknown. So thank you, unknown. We have to keep our head clear, not cloudy. Needs to be a clear day in your head to have an uncluttered mind to live your best life. So let's lift up our voices. Lift up our heart. Lift up our eyes and see the light. See the light shining on that path, and with a clear head, we can follow it. We know where it's going. We can see it. And just like we said last week for Martin Luther King, we don't have to see the whole path. We don't have to see the whole staircase. We just have to take that first step. Take that first step. So I'm talking to you today about uncluttering your mind. It's that time of year, isn't it? We're uncluttering things. We're getting things. We're purging from things. Some people are having some emotional purges, doing some emotional work. People are doing some physical work. And I tell you what, when you start healing from the inside out, stuff comes out. And you got to be ready for that, to know that it's going to be a process, and but at the end, you're going to feel better in the morning. You're going to feel better when it's all out. And you may say, what's my uncluttered mind got to do with seeing the light? But you're going to find an answer to that question, I hope, somewhere in the talk today. Because nurturing an uncluttered mind is a way to clear a spiritual pathway. Living with an uncluttered mind is how we can best raise our vibration and shine our light out to the world. In this day and time, the pursuit of a serene and uncluttered mind, it's not just a luxury. It's a necessity for our overall well-being. It's a necessity for our spiritual growth. It's a necessity for our spiritual welfare. In a world filled with constant noise, distractions, and demands, lifting up our vibration, raising our frequency is the absolute best way to unclutter our mind. An uncluttered mind is not merely a concept, but a transformative path towards understanding, compassion, love, and inner peace. Love is the common thread that binds us all around the world, in this community and then all around the world. Love is the common thread that binds all of the world's religions. That common thread runs through them all. And when we allow it to bind us, we come together in love and peace. And we all have the capacity to love. It's within us. Let's have the ability to acknowledge the profound impact our mental state has on our personal and our spiritual journey. If you're all muddled in the head, it's hard to be clear on anything, much less your spiritual growth or your spiritual journey. So, how is your mind? Is it clear or is it cluttered? And it can be clear one day, and if you're not careful, it'll clutter up pretty darn quick. You've got to be mindful about it. With a cluttered mind, you have trouble sleeping, you have trouble organizing, and you may have lost the passion of your dreams. So if you come up to me and say, Reverend Kimberley, I'm having trouble sleeping, I'm going to say, oh, well, maybe have you uncluttered your mind? Or you spend a little bit of time in meditation before it's time to lay down for the night. Emptying your mind with intention, mindfully, letting it go. For when we have a cluttered mind, fear, doubt, and anger find an easy way into our life. And if we've laid down to sleep with a cluttered mind, it can find a way into our unconscious, our subconscious, into our dream world. And then keep us fitful, keep us frightful, keep us unrestful. Our minds become burdened and often weighed down with worry, regrets, and incessant stream of thoughts that can become a monkey mind, a mind that is distracted from living in the present moment. Oh, my beloved, you are not meant to live like that. None of us are. We are not meant to live like that. Is your mind like a hoarder's house? You know, you've seen those shows on TV, the hoarders, and they have so much floor to ceiling, but they have essential pathways. They have pathways to the essential. There's a pathway generally to the bathroom, a pathway to the kitchen, and a pathway to a place to sleep. Is that what your mind's like? You got so much stuff in there, but you can still function in the world. You can still go do your job because you've got that pathway to the essential. But everything else is always right there on the verge, waiting to cave in on you. Because that's what it's like. It's like if you've seen the movie The Labyrinth. Anybody seen that? A fan? David Bowie and The Labyrinth. And everything starts closing in. The walls of the labyrinth are so stacked with stuff, and then all of a sudden they start closing in on you. Holding on to so much clutter is like that in your mind. It's all ready to fall in on you. So much trash in your mind limits us in life. Is your cluttered life your normal? Is it normal for you to be cluttered and, oh, I'm going to go to a retreat I'm going to go to a retreat and clear everything out. But then very soon you find yourself right back in that cluttered state. Because it's what you've become used to. It's what's your comfort zone. In New Thought and as an interfaith minister and spiritual leader, it's my purpose to help you recognize the interconnection between mind and spirit, between your body, your mind, and your spirit, between what you experience, what you know, and what you feel. The clutter in our minds serves as a barrier to experiencing the divine within ourselves and in our connection with nature and our connection with each other. By unraveling those mental knots, we can open ourselves to the pure potentiality of the infinite possibilities and the endless opportunities of living a harmonious life where we coexist in unity with all that is. We can clear out the clutter, clear away the negative energy that is the clutter, clear away the noise, clear away the jealousy, the hurts, clear away the worry, clear away what is stealing your peace. A cluttered mind creates confusion. It wastes time and causes you to be less productive. Today is the day. Today is the day, though. It's a new year. It's a new day. It's time. It's divine time. Really, it is. It is divine time to clear your mind. So let's clear it out. Let's clear that clutter. Don't let clutter take over your life. Don't limit yourself. If you need a reminder, know that God places no limits on you. There are no limits on you with Source. You limit yourself. The only limit to the power of God that is within you is the limits you place there. For Source has no limits. There is no limit to the infinite possibilities. The limit is within you. The limit is in your asking. The limit is in your mind. So let's clear it out. Let's clear out those limitations. Are you clear in what you want? Are you clear in the asking? That's what when Reverend Maria or I, either one of us, are doing work with somebody, energy work, to help them manifest what they need or want in their life, that's the hardest thing, isn't it? To get them to understand what it is they really want and to get very clear in the asking. For ask and you shall receive. It is written, and it is true. Ask and you shall receive. All the time. God is good all the time, and all the time you ask and you will receive it. It's just that sometimes we're not very clear in the asking. Oh, well, maybe. Is that what I want? I'm not sure. Tell me, you can tell me a lot of things you don't want. Well, I don't want this, and I don't want it to be that way, and I don't want that. But then when I say, but then what do you want? And crickets. There's nothing. Like, well, you got to get clear on that for you. You have to get clear on that before we can do this work. You have to be clear on it. For a cluttered mind keeps you from being present with yourself, limits your connection to Source, and an uncluttered mind keeps you from reaching your full potential. In today's world, the 24/7 news, it may be hard, if not impractical, to say, I don't watch the news. You know, I turned off the cable. We turned off the cable, now we just stream. And I can go several days without watching the news, but I've learned that that's not very practical. Because people will ask me, well, Reverend Kimberley, what do you think about this or that that's going on in the world? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, because I hadn't been watching the news. So it's not very practical, because we have news, we are exposed to news 24/7. But please commit yourself to be intentional about what news and information you consume, as well as being mindful about what you allow to stay in there. because we don't have any control over what they're broadcasting. We can let it go in and discern if it's something we need to keep and just let it go right back out. And then we can make it a weekly practice to sit down and be mindful about what we've taken in and say, oh, okay, I am going to keep that. I'm going to keep that in. That's something I do need to know. But then let the other go, because we are inundated with it 24/7. And what we intentionally allow to stay with us shapes us. What you allow to stay with you matters, because your mind can only manage so much. Your heart can only deal with so much. So sit with yourself. Sit with God. Take a time out and see what is staying with you, and unclutter it if you need to. How do we unclutter these wonderful, beautiful minds we are gifted with from Source? To unclutter your mind, you can meditate. That's a great way to unclutter your mind. And then we have meditation every Wednesday at 11:30 in the park. It's beautiful. This Wednesday, Pamela's doing a sound healing. She does that at least once a month. Come meditate. And if some people say, oh, I can't meditate, I have trouble meditating, then sitting for a sound healing meditation or sitting during a visualization meditation is the easiest way if you're not good at or practiced at meditating on your own. Another way to unclutter your mind is to get more sleep. I'm guilty of that. And for crying out loud, please don't look at your phone as soon as you wake up. That can steal our peace immediately. Because you'll find that if you wait an hour before looking at your phone, you'll be so much more productive in the day. You will be so much more peaceful in the day. If you just wait that hour, don't reach and grab the phone before you even have gotten into the prone position. And I know many of us are guilty of that. Reach over to the nightstand, get the phone and pull it right here while we're still laying down. And we hadn't even set up yet and we're looking at the phone. Don't do that. It'll steal your peace. It'll clutter your mind with so much stuff that you don't even know how to untie it. You don't know how to unclutter it. Stop multitasking. I know our generation learned that multitasking is a virtue, but it's not. Start focusing. Stop multitasking and start focusing. Do what you need to do, focused and intentional. Schedule time to worry, because we all do it. We might as well admit it, because to say, oh, I don't worry about a thing. That's a song. Don't you worry about a thing. But we all do it. It's only natural. It's only natural. But allow yourself time to do it. Allow yourself 15 minutes a week at a scheduled time to sit down and worry. If you must worry, schedule it. Put it in your day planner. Put it in your phone. Schedule it and do it. Actually schedule time in your day and your week for those things that routinely distract you, pull you away from what's important and pull you off focus. You know, I was a little unavailable this week. Not that I wasn't available. I'm always available. But my son came down for a little quick visit. He came down a Wednesday evening and he left early yesterday morning. So we had a couple of days of spending time with him. I don't think I looked at my phone 10 times in the whole 3 days he was here, the whole 2.5 days he was here, because I wanted to focus with intention on spending that time with him. Now, I got back to you if it was something important, and I got back to you if it was something for prayer, and I always am available. But also, make that time for yourself. And then schedule time. Don't just because an email came in, because we can see it right here and right now that it came in, or because a text came in, doesn't mean you have to drop everything in your life and take care of that right here and right now. Schedule a time. Schedule a time to take care of those distracting tasks, like answering emails. Schedule a time. Put an end to it. I'm going to, from 3 to 4:30, look at and return emails. And then do that. And when 4:30 comes, put it down. Don't, and then when one pops up at 5:15, don't go, oh, let me take care of this. Wait, just give it a minute. Let it, see if it's something you need to let come in with mindful intention, or that can just wait a minute. Schedule your time. Set a specific time with an ending. And stick to that. Guess what? You're the boss of your time. You are the boss of your time. Take control of it. That will help unclutter your mind. Organize your environment. Clear off your desk. I know my wife is over there laughing now because I have the messiest desk of anybody. But clear off your desk. It does a world of good. I know it's a hard one. It's a hard one for me. But it really does work. It works wonders. Exercise. Eat, move, and meditate. Eat, move, and meditate. I know last year I gave you all that challenge. Eat, move, and meditate until the end of the month. And let's see where you are at the end of the month. When you mindfully eat, you mindfully move, and you mindfully meditate. And just do that for like 2 weeks. You know, they say 21 days to start a new habit or to break an old habit. But, you know, just eat, move, and meditate mindfully with intention. Because a good mental attitude is better than mental ability. So if you were an athlete in your sports, sometimes it's the kid that has the best attitude, not necessarily the best skills, that ends up making that winning shot that was the buzzer beater that everybody cheered for. Wasn't necessarily the one with the best skills, it was the one with the best attitude. And everybody in the school stood up and cheered because he had the best attitude. Not because he had the best skills, but he had the best attitude, and everybody loved to see him do well. Be that. Get clear on what you want and go for it. In New Thought, we know, we believe, and we affirm that God, our source energy, is the one presence and the one power. And that presence, that power, is within each of us. And here's the secret. We all, each one of us, have a direct line, the red bat phone, not a party line. Who knows what a party line is? My Aunt Bonnie, my mom's oldest sister, lived up a holler, and everyone who lived up that holler was on the party line. Yeah. And when I was born, my mom and dad lived in that same holler. But then, you know, before I was aware of where we lived, we didn't live there anymore. And it's been a bit cold here, but I'll tell you that day that I was born, there was a big snowstorm the next day. December 6th was the snowstorm. A huge snowstorm, several feet of snow. So when Mom and Dad took me home from the hospital, Dad couldn't even drive up into the holler. Had to park down at the road, down at the entrance of the holler. And so it was my mom, my dad, my brother Steve, who was 5 at the time, and me, a newborn baby. Had to trek all the way in frigid temperatures, at near zero temperatures with, 4 feet of snow, trying to make a way to the house. And Dad and Mom were both concerned that as a newborn baby, I just wasn't going to make it. It was too cold, and it was going to take a while. So Dad took me and went ahead, leaving Mom and Steve. Took me ahead, got the fire going in the fireplace, got me nestled snug in the bed, and then went back for them. My dad cleared his mind. He got a plan. And so we all arrived home safely. It takes a clear mind to be able to do that, not a cluttered mind. Because he could have gotten all wrapped up in we've got to get home. We've all got to get home. And then we might not have made it because of all four of us trying to trudge through the snow. But the plan he had saved us all and got us in the house. And we were snowed in. I don't remember it, of course, but the story goes that we were snowed in for quite a while. But my dad uncluttered his mind and had a clear plan to keep us all safe. Now back to that direct line we all have with Source. It's my belief that we, each one of us, have a birthright to a personal relationship with God. Each of us. I have a relationship with God that's unlike anybody else's. You have a relationship with God that's just between you and God. Whatever name you call that higher power, that source energy, whether you say God, whether you say source, whether you say goddess, whether you say Jesus, whether you say Buddha, whatever name you use for that higher power. And we all have that red bat phone connection instead of a party line. Yeah, you know that old party line, my Aunt Bonnie, and then you hold the little plunger down and you pick it up and then you let it up real easy. No matter how easy you do it, though, there's a click. Those ladies know when somebody's listening and somebody wasn't. Yeah, and it's a whole different conversation. It's a whole different conversation when you know somebody's listening. So you have that direct line. You have that direct line with God. It's just you and God. Nobody listening, nobody else knowing, because it's within you. God is within you. And you have that direct line, that unique and individual relationship. And then we come together and we all have a relationship, a collective relationship with Source, and a relationship with each other, and a relationship with God, not only as me, Kim, but as me, Rev Kimberley, and as me, part of this wonderful community. We all have that. We all have that. It's our birthright. We aren't on a party line. Source is right here within us, and we are one with Source. Each and every one of us. Every single one of us. Our uncluttered mind is the fertile ground for the seeds of wisdom, creativity, and deep connection. As we unclutter our minds, we make room for blossoming of spiritual insights, innovative ideas, infinite possibilities, and a profound love for all beings in the world. Proverbs 23 says, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." As he thinks in his heart, so is he. We are as we think in our heart. We all strive to receive love, warm friendship, peace, and acceptance, and know that it must begin inside of you, inside your mind and inside your heart. Lift up your voice, lift up your heart, lift up your eyes and see the light, because it's coming from you. See that light. Love, kindness, and compassion, you get those only after you give them. Love, kindness, and compassion. We get them. And we get more from them from giving it away first. So what's your attitude about life? What's your attitude about yourself? What's your attitude about others? You know, people have said, I'm too naive, I'm too trusting, I'm too loving, I'm too accepting. Those are all words I've heard used to describe me. And sometimes the person describing me in that way didn't mean it in a positive way. Who would imagine that? And I'm sure you have your own words that you're used to hearing about you. But know that you define you. And those words that I just said, those describe me in some ways, and I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. But fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I also know that. So sometimes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You can't be mean or small in your deeds and be oh so wonderful inside. You can't be mean and unkind in your words and be oh so spiritual inside. Your mental attitude is how we are. Our mental attitude is who we are. Check yourself. Are you giving? Are you generous? Are you confident? Are you loving? Are you peaceful? Are you kind? People generally see the world in their own reflection. Do you see the world as small and mean or large and loving? Is everyone always out to get you or everyone always working for you? Do you see the world as spiteful and chaotic or caring and peaceful? Good attitudes don't come to you because you have more or because you have a better job. That's backwards thinking. The better life, the better job is the result of your mental attitude. You have a good attitude, so you have the better job. You have a good attitude, so you have the better life. When you acknowledge source within you, oh, then, beloved, then you live with Christ's consciousness that is unconditional love within you. Be still and know. Be still and know God is. Be still and know God is within you. What are you really like? When it's just you and God, what are you really like? Stop. Stop where you are. Take a breath. Open your heart. What are you really like? What are you really like? Lift up your voice. Lift up your heart. What are you really like? When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Today is your vibrational wake-up call. This is your wake-up call to clear the clutter in your mind. You are a one-of-a-kind, unique expression of spirit. Clear the clutter. Look in the mirror. Be that. Be that divine expression of source that I know you to be. Because I sometimes get to see that person that you are when you're with God. When you come to talk to me about something you want to talk about going on in your life, I get to see the glimpse of that person. And you are all so beautiful. Be that. Be that I know you to be. We are living right here and right now in what many religions call the kingdom of heaven. Oh, we're living in the kingdom of heaven. And many and some think that's a place we go to when we transition from this physical body. But we in Unity and New Thought know that heaven is here and now. Heaven is what we create it to be. As Reverend Ron asked you several times, I've heard him ask you, how is heaven today? How is heaven today? Heaven is everywhere. Epigenetic scientists have proven that when we raise our vibration, our DNA expands. We even have control over our own DNA. When we raise our vibration, our DNA expands. When we allow our vibration to drop to those lower frequencies of fear, of anger, of worry, our DNA contracts. You get to choose. You get to change your DNA strands by the frequency where you choose to vibrate. Hallelujah. What a concept. So if you don't like what you're seeing in the mirror, you can change it. Change your thoughts, change your mind. Change your thoughts, change your mind. What a thought that is. And if that's a new thought for you, I've done my job. I've done my job. As we declutter the internal landscape and upgrade the internal dialogue, we create a sacred space for the divine to reside within us. We welcome the expansion and know that Source is within us, all around us, expressing as us. That's what we believe, that we are one with Source. Source is within us. Source is all around us, and Source is expressing through us all the time. So when you unclutter your mind and become spiritually minded, you open yourself up to the potential of what your life can be. You are aligned and you feel in alignment with Source. You are healed and healthy, free from distractions of a cluttered mind, free to be happy and to be healthy. When you look in the mirror and the person looking back at you is that changed person, you know and recognize that you are the change. You are the love. You are the peace. The world becomes a better place because you are a better person, a changed person through your spiritual mind. Do you choose chaos or do you choose order? Chaos or peace and love? Chaos or harmony? Some of us like that chaos. We like a little drama. But do you choose that? Or do you choose love and peace? Unclutter your mind. Come on now. Unclutter your mind. What does it feel like? What does it feel like to just untie those knots, unravel those ropes, and unclutter your mind? What does it feel like? Let go of the past. If it's the past that's pulling you down, let go of it. Unclutter your mind. Breathe in. Expand your DNA and know that every time you take a new breath in is an opportunity to expand your DNA, to unclutter your mind, to raise your vibration, to eliminate the distraction, to heal yourself. What does that feel like? Feels pretty darn good to know that we have that in our control. We control it. We have the power. So how is heaven today? You practice that every day. You begin to look in the mirror. You become a lover of life. You become a lover of the mystery of life. In the 91st Psalms it says, "Those that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." That is our source. That Almighty is our source. I choose to dwell in that secret place. How about you? In closing, what's showing up in your life? Is your mind cluttered? Are you putting on a facade of spiritual, or are you spiritual? Are you living it? Living it on a Tuesday? Living it on a Monday? Living it on a Friday? Living it even on a Saturday? Not just on a Sunday, but living it every day. It's who you are. It's your attitude. All of us have the capacity to change our attitude. All of us have the capacity to change our DNA. Just ask those scientists. Just Google it. Just read it. We embrace all beings. We raise ourselves up vibrationally into that rarefied air that is the secret place of the Most High, our source. In the words of the song Sal sang so beautifully, lift up your voices. Lift up your heart. Lift up your eyes and see the light that shines within. See it as it radiates out from you. Can you see the light? If you clear away the clutter, you can see the light. May your minds be clear, our hearts be open, our spirits free, and may we all see that light. And so it is. So it is.
Thank you. Thank you. One more time for Reverend Kim.
Oh.
And let's also add one more time for Sal. Thank you. You can just... So...
And wait, one more time for all of us now. Just
And for Maria? No. All right. So, who's feeling blessed this morning? We want to take a moment here. You can just leave the box up here. We're going to talk for just a minute, and we're going to bore you if we do that, if you're standing up here. We're going to talk a minute about the A word. Usually Maria's talking about me when we're talking about the A word, but...
Oh, no, we're not talking about
But this A
Alabama.
word that we're talking about is abundance. And when we talk about abundance, it's a perception. Who perceives themselves? Well, let me ask you first, because Karen Drucker taught me that abundance is someone who is happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Well, I'm happy. Are we all happy? I walked in here. We were happy, happy, happy. Smiley faces, happy, hugging, right?
Are you perceiving yourself as happy,
Yeah.
healthy? Do you perceive
I feel
yourself?
good. Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
I got another question for you. Are you perceiving yourself as happy as you want to be? Are you perceiving yourself as healthy as you want to be? Wealthy, wise? It's
Wise.
a perception. It's all about perception. How you perceive yourself becomes your attitude, as Reverend Kim is talking about. We have an attitude in life. Have you heard that gratitude is an attitude? Well, I got something. Colossal, I just want to read it out of the Bible. Colossians 3:2 says, set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. To rise above. Well, what's above gratitude? Ooh,
Wisdom.
gratitude. We're taught. Go ahead. We're taught. I was taught gratitude. I want to be grateful for what I have. But you know something? God has a lot more.
In store.
Because
Well,
God,
wait a second. How do we, let's share with everyone.
Okay.
How do we feel this abundance that we're all talking about? How do we feel it? Where does it come from? We heard what Reverend Kimberley was sharing with us, uncluttering that mind. But where does it come from, that mindset? Does
God,
it come from God? Within? Within. And we all know what a mindset is, don't we? We know that the mindset is what happens when our intention is driven towards something and it repeats and repeats and repeats. We create a mindset. So therefore we have an intention. We formulate our thoughts and feelings, our perceptions. Correct, Ron?
we do.
And then the force that the intention that's backing it becomes our mindset. And we are learning to live abundantly, prosperously. So do we have a mindset of prosperity? Of course we do. Of course we do. We have that mindset that the universe is abundant and flowing.
Yeah. You know, it's changing our perception, having a different attitude, a different mindset. Well, abundance is not having what you need. If we're living with God, this is God's life. We're living God's life. This is all God. And what we know about God is that abundance is having more than enough at all times. More than you need. Plenty. Plenty, plenty, plenty. So what we're suggesting that you do is replace your gratitude for what you have with a plenitude for all that you have that you are not seeing here right now. Be grateful for what you have, but let's be more grateful. A plenitude, which is an attitude that it's all mine already because the Father and I are one. And what God has
Is mine.
is mine.
And
Yeah.
what is mine comes from the mindset that I already have set in place. And as well. Now, when you said abundance is happy, wealthy, healthy, and
Wise.
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 wise. I think wise can be the most important gift that we have. Some people think that the mystics are just the wise ones, or that you have to spend many years on this planet to say, oh, I'm wise now. We come into the earth wise. And when we have that wisdom, we get to say, I choose my mindset. I choose my intention. Reverend Kimberley was talking about the news. Think about this. Think about this. What we resist will persist. So, I want to tell you this story. I do want to tell you the story. I had lunch with somebody the other day, and he was a new friend, so we had lunch, and we're chatting, and he said to me, Maria, I am living in heaven. I said, oh. And just went on listening, and then I asked him, I said, what is heaven to you? Because I was feeling, you know how you get that feeling? I was feeling this sense of sadness or this, like this desire wanting to bubble out from him. And I said, tell me what living in heaven is. Well, I never watch the news. I don't bring any negativity into my world. Well, if you are resisting the negativity, guess what's going to come back? More negativity. And then he said, well, listen, no, listen, I live abundantly. I said, how so? And he said, well, I always look for a deal. I'm always looking for a deal. And I said, why? He said, so I can have more money. And I'm like, well, isn't money about spending? Isn't money about spending? I know, I spend it. So what I thought to like I said, I felt this energy of sadness, and I wanted to learn more about my new friend, but I realized that the intention behind the mindset was driven towards fear or lack. When you're abundant, when you're living that abundant life, healthy, wealthy,
wise,
healthy, wealthy, what else was it?
happy,
and wise. That was so healthy, wealthy, happy, and wise. When you're living that way, you're in the flow. So think about the thought of giving and receiving being the same thing. Now, how is that so? Do you know how that's so, Ron? I do. Okay, so I know. You think it's easy for us to be up here together, and it is. Oh, absolutely. Okay, so giving and receiving is one of the same thing, and here's why. When I am giving, I need somebody or something to give to. You see, because I can't give unless I have somebody to give it to. And when I'm receiving, I need somebody to give it to me, you see? So you can't have one without the other. And here we are talking about prosperity and abundance. Excuse me? Yes? So the energy of prosperity and abundance is giving and receiving. And that's what we do here in this community, our community. We are happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, 100% of the time, all the time. So if you'll join us, if you'll join us in the affirmative prayer of giving and receiving, if you'll take your offering, put it in your heart space, put it towards your heart space, and together, yes, because we're blessing not only ourselves, we are blessing our whole community as we say this prayer together. The abundance of God is my infinite source. I now open my mind and my heart to give and to receive all God's goodness, all God's prosperity, and all God's abundance. For as God is my source, all things are possible. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen. And amen.
So it is.
So it is. And we'll ask the ushers to walk around with our box.
I get it. My pleasure.
Thank you, thank you. I just love being here. Thank you for being such a wonderful, open-hearted community. This is a song, another original I wrote, excuse me, and it's also about uncluttering the mind of fear and worry, and also uncluttering your field, your energy field of possessions and collections and even objections, which can get in the way, create a fog. So this song's about uncluttering the mind, and it's one of my favorites. And feel free to clap, and once you get the vibe going, you'll feel it. So feel free to join in. Don't you get too caught up with your worries. Don't you get too caught up being in a hurry. Don't you get too caught up with your worries, or life will pass you by. Don't you get too caught up with your possessions. Don't you get too caught up with your objections. Don't you get too caught up with your collections, or life will pass you by. Well, every day that comes around the corner will tell you the reason why. To stand in your truth and let love see you through, then you can let your spirit fly. Well, let it fly high. Don't you give up on your ambitions. Don't you give up on your convictions. Don't you give up on all your passions, or life will pass you by. Don't you give up on your direction. Don't you give up on your decisions. Don't you give up on your intentions, or life will pass you by. Every day that comes around the corner will tell you the reason why. To stand in your truth and let love see you through, then you can let your spirit fly. Well, let it fly high. Every day that comes around the corner will tell you the reason why. To stand in your truth and let love see you through, then you can let your spirit fly. Come on, let your spirit fly. Well, let it fly high. Don't you get too caught up with your worries. Don't you get too caught up being in a hurry. Don't you get too caught up with your worries, or life will pass you by. Thank y'all. That's always a fun one. Thank you so much.
All right, we're wrapping up the service, and thank you, Sal. It was really wonderful today. So, good news is at the end of the service, and I know everyone's anxious to start packing up the backpacks, so I just want to explain a little bit of how the process will work. So thank you to Deb Clark for bringing in 48 backpacks. Derek and I did 24 backpacks, so we know we have 72 plus backpacks. I'm thinking we may have close to 100. And so with all the goodies that were collected, we're going to do sort of a a conga line of filling the backpacks. There's lots of things to put in there. There's shirts, and there's gloves, and there's hats. We want to use all of the product up that was brought in. It was just amazing today what was happening with the donations that kept coming in. So after service, we're going to all go in the back and we'll put those backpacks together, and then they'll be delivered. So if you're inclined to deliver them, you can take a few with you. Some are designed specifically for women. The others are sort of gender neutral, and they can be passed out to anybody. I do have a few dates to announce. Next Sunday, we will not be at the casino. Next Sunday, we're going to be at the Catherine Hickman. Make sure you get your little reminder notice, and so I'm pointing this to the screen so that we can get this online. So anyone who is going to be with us next Sunday will be at the Catherine Hickman Theater, same time, new service, an amazing service, but at the Catherine Hickman Theater. We do have 2 dates in February I want everyone to be reminded of. So on February 11th at the Scout Hall, Reverend Ron and Maria are doing a relationship workshop, and it includes lunch. There are some tickets available still, so that is a ticketed event that will also include, like I said, lunch, and it's for individuals, it's for couples, it's an interactive play shop. I love the play on that. Play shop, workshop. So that is going to be 1 to 4 on February 11th. And then on February 18th, that is going to be our annual meeting for New Thought Community of Gulfport. We do an annual meeting every year, and that is the date on Sunday here at the casino on February 18th that we will do a State of the Union of what's going on, what our plans are. That'll be from Reverend Kim and the board, and that will be directly after service. So with that, I think we're going to have Sal come up, wrap up with the peace song, and we're going to do the backpacks.
Absolutely. Thanks, Bill.
I love when Sal was singing today, and then you and Tony were your own backup.
Yes.
I love technology that
Well, and I
way
also-
because it sounded so great.
Thank you. I also love the way some of the song messages fit right in with,
Yes, they
with
did.
all your
Yes, they
message. So
did.
thank you so much for that.
I love when that happens.
Yeah. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be the joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally.
Peace begins right here and right now. Together, let's affirm the unity prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. For God is amazing. And all the time, God is amazing. Hallelujah. So let's fill those backpacks of love and hope. And I just want to mention that next week in the Catherine Hickman, Valerie Benton is our special music guest. Friendship Sunday back here in the casino, we're having a Hawaiian luau. Lori and Michelle are our music and our dancing that Sunday. And then February 11th, the day of the workshop, play shop, J. Maya is back with us to sing love songs for Valentine's Day.